have some basic mechanism here for logging them in, logging users in, creating new users, and making them logged in. Notice that we can go to the websites for that user. Maybe no. Oh, okay. Did we websites? I thought we fixed that, didn't we? I guess not. All right. So that's let's fix that real quick on websites for the profile page. In the profile view for the websites, list of websites, we don't need the user ID anymore. So let's refresh. We can navigate to the websites. Okay, so that user doesn't have any websites just yet, right? But we can certainly create some users, some websites. Okay, that still is navigating to the old one. So there it is, right? Yeah, we can create these websites. So we can navigate to the profile and navigate to the websites. Now we have the websites for that user. Anyway, what we'd like to be able to do is here in the login page, right? If we are currently logged in, for instance, we shouldn't be highlighting, or we shouldn't give these links, login and register, right? They should be hidden if we are currently logged in. And if we're not logged in, then the profile page shouldn't show, right? Okay. So what we'd like to be able to do is somehow make our home page aware of whether somebody's logged in or not. But notice that we're not protecting it, right? Unlike the profile that goes and checks to see if somebody logged in because, I mean, they're going to let you in or not, right? Or going to kick you out to some other page. What the home page is a little bit different. I still want to know who's currently logged in. I like to know some basic information, right? But I don't want to protect it, right? I need information about who's currently logged in, but I'm not protecting it, right? It's only because I want to have some information about it. Okay, so let's do that. The home page is this one, /. So we want something similar than what we have here. So we want something similar, right? We want to say the home page. I need to know who's logged in, but I can't do it this way, right? Because notice that if I now try to navigate, it's letting me. Wait, what's going on here? Network source. Did I protect it? Template, home, resolve, currently checked, logged in. Is it going in there? Config. Logged in. Okay, so it is going in here. And I'm sorry? Ah, yeah, I might be logged in, right? Resolve. Yes, I am logged in. Okay, good. So if I go to my profile, and I log out, and I try to go to the home page, okay, I am going to be rejected. So notice that it's not letting me go to the home page now, unless I am logged in, which makes no sense, right? I still want to go to the home page. I want to know who's logged in, but it's not. I want to protect it. So what we want to be able to do here is, so instead of check logged in, right? I'm going to stop you. Instead, I'm going to provide the same mechanism, but something like check current user, meaning let me through. Okay, just fetch the user, but don't stop me from going there. Okay. So this mechanism is going to be exactly the same, almost exactly as this, right? Almost identical to this. Oops, sorry. Almost identical, but this is going to be check current user. So it's going to be rejected, but I am not going to send you to the login page. Actually, I'm always going to resolve. I'm always going to resolve So I'm always going to resolve the user. If it's 0, okay, there's no currently logged in user, right? But if it's something, then 0, right? It's something different than use 0. I have access to their user ID. I have access to their username, password. I can say hello, and then with a particular username, right? So now that I have that, right, I can go back to my home page. I don't know. Do we have a controller for the home page? I forget. So here's the home page. I don't believe we have a home controller, do we? I don't believe we do. Okay, that's fine. Let's create a controller for this. Let's say make a controller. Do I have any controllers here? I don't. Okay. All right. So let's wrap this entire thing in a controller div, and we'll say that we'll have an ng controller, and we'll call it the main controller. All right. So this will be the main controller as model. So this is the kind of like the top level controller, okay, up here. And let's implement it right here next to our home page. Or our home page, we might want to move it too, right? We might want to move it. So let's see, we can do view. This would be home. And we can certainly move the home page here. Okay. And let's have the controller right here. So this would be main dot controller dot client.js. And have the function here. Angular, we can say module. And this is the WAM. Is it capital? I forget. Is it capital? And we have the controller here. And this will be the main controller. Implemented in a function of the same name. And this would be var model equal this. And here we can have injected the current user, right? Because that's what we have here. Current user is going to be resolved from whatever it comes from the server, right? And we can then send it over to the model. Model dot current user equal current user. Yes, which will be either 0 or some object, correct? Right? So now in the home page, we can now drive some of these icons, some of these logins, right? We can say for instance, log in. I don't want to show it, right? I only want to show it if there is no current user, right? So I can say this li. I can say ng show. Only show this login page, right? If there is no current user, right? So no model dot current user, right? Or same thing with the register. Don't show that, right? Or show the profile page if there is a current user, right? If somebody is logged in, let them just click there and they'll go to their profile, right? Okay. So now if I refresh and I try to go to the home page, notice that it goes here. It does let me go through, but I have a console. Oh, I don't have the controller. I never registered the controller. So let me register that controller in the index page. So let's see, in the config, my home move, very good. In the index page, I'll need that controller. So it'll be script, src, views, home, and then main controller. So let's, oops, what? Current user. Current user. Controller, wait a minute. Refresh. So it's saying it can't find that current user. So that should be injected from the, so current user. Did I misspell it? In the main controller? Current user? No. Current user? Maybe? No. So that should be from the resolve from check current user. Let's see if it's going there. Let's go into the sources, and let's step through that a little bit. Check current user. There it is. Let me see. Is it going there? Okay. Reference current user. User is 0. Oh, it's 0. It's 0. That's not a service. Huh. How about let's make it a little bit more smarter. Oops. That's not smart. Okay, resolve if it's a valid user, or let's see, can we resolve an empty object? Maybe. Let's see if that works. Okay, either going to resolve 0. Okay. All right, so 0 is going to resolve an empty object. No, still. So that's in the so it's still complaining about the main controller. So that's views, controllers, and home, right? It's this one. It's complaining about this current user. Returning 0. It's not resolving. So if I log in, that should work, right? Let me check. So if I log in as po ho, log in, and I clear this, let me clear that console. Let's clear that. So if I go to the home page, it goes here. This time around, I'm going to resolve because there is a user, and it's still giving me that. I'm sorry? Yeah, it thinks it's a service, and it can't find a current user provider. So yeah, no, being an dependency to fix it to make sure the dependency is defined and spelled correctly. Yeah, no, it thinks it's a service, but it's not a service. It's injected user. So it's this one, the same as this. Reject if user 0 reject. Reject. Okay, how about reject? Just do it this way instead. Reject. But I'm not going to stop you from navigating there. Okay, so I'm going to. Okay, so that was logged in. So that's not going to. Oh, it is complaining. Wait, which one are you going? Defer. Which way are you going here? Okay, resolve. User. Oh, okay. So it's also failing when the user is coming back. Same name. What? Same controller name. What do you mean? Oh, there is no controller. There is no controller. So how is this calling the controller? Oh, right. I instantiated it from over there. Okay. Oh, that might be an issue. That might be an issue. Okay, that might be an issue. All right. Yes. Okay, let's do that instead. So I don't want to instantiate the controller until I actually come in here, right? Instead, I'm instantiating it way out there, right? I'm instantiating regardless of whether I navigate it here. See that? So let's do that. So let's do controller controller is, what is it? Main controller. So main controller and controller as model, right? And instead here in the home, I'm not going to instantiate the controller. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, so hopefully the controller hasn't yet been instantiated. User, and then continue. It's going to resolve the user. Okay, now it's going into the controller, and the current user now has an object, right? So it doesn't complain. And so notice that I don't have a login or register because there is a current user. But if I go to my profile and I log out, and then I go into my home page, now it's going to reject. Well, it's going to reject it. Oh, so I want to reject it, but I still want to navigate. So do I really want to reject this? So maybe can I resolve this? Can I resolve an empty? Okay, can I resolve an empty object, meaning there is no user? Okay, so it's coming in here. Notice that the current user now is empty, right? There's nothing in it because nobody logged in. And now I still don't have my why are you not showing here? Profile. Is my logic correct here? In the home page, do I have, let's see. Do I have, let's see, current model, current user, model. So if I have model, current user, it is an object. Okay, so it's an empty object. So let's see, if I don't have maybe current user username or ID. So if I don't have an ID, how's that? Is that more explicit? So if I do have this, there we go. Okay, now I have login and register because I am not logged in, right? But once I log in as po, right? And now I go to the home page. If I go to the home page, notice that I don't have login anymore. Make sense? All right. So there, we can control the navigation of where can you go, where you cannot go, based on whether you're logged in or not. Now, more interesting would be to provide access to different portions of the application depending on your role. That would be a little more interesting, right? So, for instance, if I am a system administrator, a link that I would like to be here is a link to my admin page, right? But notice that using that technique, anybody can come in here, look at our code, especially someone who knows how to read this, right? And look at our navigation and see that it has these all these links, right? To all these links to to login, to profile, right? To admin, right? And could deduce how to navigate to an admin, right? So I can start playing around with trying to log in to navigate to places where they're not allowed, right? But even if we go and check whether they're logged in or not, right? They could thwart this, right? They could get around and still navigate to places they're not allowed to, okay? Especially because this code is available to them, right? Even if it's obfuscated, they can always try to reverse engineer and try to get in. So for instance, say there would be an admin link that is not available in the HTML, right? Because it's hidden for them. They can still look here at the logic and try to get in there. And even so not only do we need to hide these things and obviously protect the places where they shouldn't go, but even if they can go, right, that should always be backed by server-side logic. That even if you're in the place that you're not supposed to be going, if you shouldn't be able to do anything, right? If you send any messages or any commands from the client, that command is through an HTTP request, yes? So it's going to come along with a cookie, right, that has your identity that you can't thwart, right? You can't get around that. It's encrypted, right? And so on the server side, we're going to unencrypt that cookie and see who you really are, right? And see if you can actually do the things that you're trying to do, right? List users or change users' passwords or change whatever, right? Those need to be protected. So that is the second part of this, right? Protecting the URLs, right? And we'll do that next.